Okay, for round 7, we've used fern. You can just see it poking out there, peeping out. And again, it's a bit of a structural round. So if I turn it over, you will see what's happening. We've got just some sort of chain work happening behind, and that's going to give us this little structure which we will use going forward in our block. If I have a little look here, you will see, you can just sort of see that fern colour here, and you can see that it's sort of being used to hold this star outline in place. So it's a good and important round, and if you're sort of wondering what colour to choose for it, this is the that little structural bit that you will see there. So you don't see a whole lot of it, but it certainly adds something to the flower. And we've used greenery, so that is perhaps the leaves sitting behind, or bud cases, or whatever you want to, however you want to interpret it. We've used a little bit of green there, so let's see how we do it. Okay, we're going to start by joining yarn in exactly the same way as we had. So I'm pulling those little petals forward again because we're still keeping the right side facing us, and I want to start in the chain space that we made between any 2 petals on the previous round. So I'm just going to put my hook through and pull up a loop, and we've done this enough now that you'll know what's happening there. That's just going to secure the yarn and is not going to count as a stitch. My first real stitch, I'm going to put a double crochet in here, or single if you're US terminology, a double crochet. And now we're just going to do lots and lots of chains. It's a lovely round, there's lots of chains. So 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, and 5, and we're going to secure that, or make a little loop I should say, by putting a double crochet UK or single crochet US into the same place where we've just come out. So that little stitch in there, if I just take my hook out, you will see I've created that little loop. Okay, you can see the little loop there that's been created with those 5 chain, and it's those little loops that we're kind of looking for really. So we're going to travel behind the petal now by making 2 chain, 1, 2. That's our sort of a traveling chain, and now we're going to just repeat the little loop. So back into the chain space, coming behind the petal. If you can see, we're going through the chain space front to back. So again, if you just fold that petal forward, you know you'll be in the right place. So going through the next chain space and making our 1 double crochet UK or single crochet US, 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and making it into a little loop by putting a double crochet UK or single US into that same chain space. Okay, so if I take my hook out now, you will see that I've got 2 little green loops there, and it's traveling, the yarn's traveling behind that petal with those 2 chain there, and that's all we're going to do all the way around. So we're going to travel behind our petals with the 2 chain, and then we are going to do our little anchor stitch into the next chain space and our 5 chain to make a loop, and that's all we're going to do all the way around on this particular round. So I will keep that going and I'll see you at the end. Okay, here's our last little loop, and I'm going to finish up with 2 chain to travel behind that last petal, and I'm going to close the round by joining with a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch we made. Cut that yarn because we're done with that particular colour now. Obviously that's following our original colour choices, but you don't have to do that. You can carry on in this colour if you like. Okay, so here we go. We have now got, you can just see them peeping out, our little loops sitting between each petal. And if I turn that over, you can see the structure on the back. All right, so we've created a little bit more framework. Okay, so I'll go and deal with those ends and we will move on to round 8. Okay, colour number 6 and round number 8, and we're going to create this nice sort of blue, we're using blue, this nice little outline around our flower here, and it's going to be dipping into and holding on to those little green things that we made, or the little green loops that we've just made. So let's get started. Right, we are working ice blue here, and I am going to be joining my yarn into any of the little loops that we've made on the previous round in the same way as usual. So pulling up a loop, and that is not going to count as a stitch. Now what we're going to be putting in every single one of these little green loops as we work around, or little loops of whatever colour you've made, is 3 double crochet UK terminology, or 3 single crochet US terminology. So we'll start straight away here. So 1, 2 and 3, and do not be afraid to sort of shuffle them around and make them nice and central. You can do that, that's not a problem. And we're going to now make 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and the next stitch we make is going to be in the tip of this little petal, and it is going to be in the chain which was used to turn right at the beginning. You'll be able to see it because it is almost vertical when you look at the petal the right way up. You'll see this little vertical chain sticking there, and we're going to put our UK double crochet or US single crochet in the top of that little petal, like so. Okay, so this is where it's going to start pulling out those stitches. Pulling out those petals. If you remember, I said don't worry about them being a bit curly, we're going to add some structure. Well, here we go. 3 more chain, 1, 2 and 3, and that brings us down the other side of the petal and back into one of our little loops that we've made, and we'll do that all over again. So it's 3 double crochet if you're in the UK, it's single crochet if you're in the US, and then 3 chain, and we put a stitch at the tip of the little leaf. It's that little vertical chain. We put our double crochet UK or single crochet US in the tip of that leaf, and then 3 chain to take us down the other side, and off we go all the way around. So nice and simple repeats. 3 stitches in the loop and 1 at the tip of the one at the tip of each petal, and then 3 chain to travel between those 2 elements. It's not too difficult to remember, is it? So around you go. Okay, nearly there. So this is our last little green loop that I'm working into, and 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and the last little stitch at the tip of the leaf. 3 chain to come down the other side, and I will join with a slip stitch into the top of the first UK double US single stitch that I made right at the beginning. And I'm going to fasten off this colour because my next round is in yet another colour. Obviously you can continue if you want to in the colour that you're using, but I'm going to fasten that off. Isn't that pretty? I really love that already, even though it's, you know, it needs a little bit of blocking, but it's adding some structure and it's only going to get better. So I'll just fasten this off and we'll get ready to move on to round 9.